Why was this villain chopped from the animated series after just one appearance? Hey friends, I'm Jimmy Gaddis. Welcome to Nostalgic, and this channel's a sidecar series, Top 5 MOTU Moments, where I take you on a journey through an original episode of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe to uncover the 5 best moments we likely overlooked as kids. Up next is the Dragon Invasion. First, I'll give you a quick and conversational rundown of the episode. If you want to get right to the top 5 list, which includes the answer to this guy's lone appearance, you can head to this time right here. Time Warp, take us back to 1983. Pan to a dragon's nest. Beastman and Skeletor steal a carton of dragon eggs as our favorite skull-faced villain holds the powerful Dragon Pearl. An enraged Mama Dragon catches them in the act, but Skeletor takes the rug out from under her, while Beastman takes off with the unhatched kids. At the palace dinner table, Orko multiplies himself to become 4 times as powerful a magician, which just leads to all of them arguing over who is the most powerful.
Why can't you cooperate? You know, use some teamwork.
Taking Adam's advice, they pool their resources to make this star appear. Not really impressive as far as Orko's magic goes, but an important lesson nonetheless that'll be crucial to the plot. So, seconds later, the room shakes. A dragon is hatching outside. Within seconds, it is full size. That's pretty heavy, and doing what dragons do best.
Because I spit hot fire.
Cue the transformation, which we'll see more of in the top 5 list. It's pretty awesome. The dragon proves to be a formidable opponent for our heroes, until Man-at-Arms steps in with his newest invention, the Stasis Ray, which will freeze the foe for hours. They assume Beastman controlled the dragon to do its bidding, and set their sights on the blue-skinned sorcerer who controls him. Out of the loop, Stratos finds Teela and Orko to let them know there's been an attack on Albion.
Let me guess. A dragon.
And Stratos is all like,
How did you know?
turns out Skeletor has dragons attacking all over Eternia as a distraction, so he can take, you guessed it, Castle Grayskull. And as for their ability to grow up so fast...
Good, the growth serum works perfectly.
Oh, and did you notice the new villain at the table? It's Jitsu. More on him in a moment. To Grayskull, Skeletor uses the Dragon Pearl to overpower the sorceress and suck her life force inside it, making it that much stronger. As the squad approaches in epic fashion, a magical force field surrounds the green stronghold.
What in Eternia is going on?
After failed attempts to break through, Orko remembers that life lesson from earlier in the show.
When things look bad, teamwork's the answer.
In this case, the answer is to bring all the dragons to Grayskull and use their combined power to break through the force field. But first, they've got to break Beastman's control over them. He's at Castle Grayskull guarding the Dragon Pearl, because the sorceress has no power there and won't be able to break free. In fact, if she stays in there too long, she'll become part of the Dragon Pearl forever. That's pretty heavy.
There's that word again, heavy.
After a brief back and forth with the orange baddie, Teela gives him the deep freeze and the dragon snaps out of his spell.
Looks like these dragons aren't so bad after all.
He-Man has a hunch they'll need Mama Dragon too and goes off looking for her. Now that the kids are rounded up, the siblings use teamwork to take the force field down.
What?
After a brief battle in which we get to see Jitsu show off his chopping power, Skeletor escapes to Snake Mountain, but He-Man is waiting for him. The Dragon Pearl's magic makes Boneface bigger, although still smaller than a Mama Dragon, who scares the pearl out of his hands, plummeting down the blood-red waterfall. Mama swoops down to save the day and releases the sorceress from within it. The end. So what are my top 5 moments from this episode? Let's get to the list.
Number 5.
Wizard of Oz vibes after Skeletor takes over Grayskull.
Sorceress is my prisoner.
His giant head does the talking while superimposed over the castle.
I am Oz.
Much like the great and powerful Wizard of Oz in the 1939 classic. Obviously, the concept is similar to the show opening, but to see him actually conversing made me feel like we weren't in Kansas anymore.
Number 4.
Summoning his war sled with the push of a button. When it's time for Skeletor to make his escape, he presses that center circle on his chest armor and his Uber arrives just in time. Do you think that button is electronic or magical? I wonder if he loses that ability when wearing the battle armor.
Number 3.
The moral of the story, which struck a personal note. While teamwork was encouraged throughout the show, a different life lesson was offered up at the end by Outtro.
Animals, like all living things, should be treated with kindness and respect,
as opposed to using them for evil like Skeletor did. That when we have a pet, we also have a responsibility because they depend on us and are always there to show us the love. I could not agree more, Outtro.
Number 2.
I don't think I care for baby dragons.
An epic transformation. Now, watching it at regular speed, I wasn't able to fully appreciate the sequence of events, the artistry and animation. So let's slow it down and take it step by step. With the dragon in full attack mode, we get this sweet shadow of Adam stretching up the wall and across the floor. The fearful looks from Cringer and Outtro. He straightens his posture and stands tall, the camera sweeping up to capture the sword being removed from its sheath. The sparks briefly fly before the dragon's tail strikes the palace and the shadow of the ceiling crumbles down on top of Adam. Cut to a different angle and Grayskull is superimposed, its magic radiating around it, fueling He-Man with the strength he needs to break free and finish his metamorphosis. Beautifully done.
Number 1.
The one and only appearance of Jitsu, whom Filmation wasn't comfortable continuing with beyond this episode. You remember Jitsu, the figure with the arm-slashing action?
Yeah! Back off, He-Man! No way! Then face the mighty power chop of Jitsu! Yeah!
That big golden right hand to rival Fisto's silver fist. The martial arts master wore the gold and red armor that Mattel would reuse with a bit of a different paint scheme for King Randor. And from what I can tell, he's the only figure they gave a receding hairline to. As someone else who is follically challenged, I don't appreciate it, Mattel. Now, his name is never said in the episode, and if it was, it wouldn't have been Jitsu. Mattel was still in the concept stage of this figure when the episode was being put together, and likely sent over early sketches for Filmation to work with. You'll notice the right hand, it was big, but not so golden yet. At that time, the character also went by the name Chopper, which comes directly from the Masters of the Universe Bible. Written in 1982 by Michael Halperin, it basically lays out the backstory, mythology, and characters for the series. It specifically describes Chopper like this. Has a right hand that's enormous. With one mighty blow, this villain can chop through bricks, trees, anything that gets in his way. He is formidable in hand-to-hand combat. What I don't think I need to reveal to you is that Chopper was very much recognized to be an Asian stereotype. And according to Filmation writer Larry DiTillio, not wanting to offend anyone, Filmation would never use him again in the animated series. Mattel would go on to release the figure under the new name Jitsu about a year later, allowing us to take out our favorite good guys in one of the coolest ways possible. And there you have it. We get some fun and heartwarming moments and a deep dive into one of our favorite figures. So did you have Jitsu growing up? Did you make him battle it out with Fisto? If you enjoyed this in-depth episode, do me a favor and thunder punch that like button, share it with your MOTU loving friends, and subscribe for more Masters of the Universe, which gets sprinkled in among all the other 80s and 90s content on the channel. And if you want more MOTU moments right now, you can click this playlist to catch up on previous episodes you might have missed. I'm Jimmy Gaddis. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.